My name is Giancarlos Rodriguez. Everyone calls me G, and my occupation is sales associate at Soulfly. Sneakers is a form of expression that people tend to overlook. I feel like it's more than just style. It's, like I said, I feel like it's expression. Sneakers could also be an art form, and I mean they're also a different way of showing the how fresh you are. I feel that's a term that a lot of people use. I feel like it's overused in some ways. I feel like a lot of people consider themselves sneakerheads when it's really hard to be a sneakerhead. I feel like there's only a certain amount of people that can actually be accountable as sneakerheads. People with over 100 pair, 80 pair. Someone that actually has a really big collection that they probably can't even wear all their shoes in the same month. I started collecting sneakers around the 8th grade. I didn't have that much money, but what really got me into it was my cousins that, I kind of looked up to, and they always wore Jordans, or they'll come back from New Jersey and New York, and they'll come back with like 2 or 3 pairs, which I've never seen, and I just didn't know much at that time, so I did my homework, like every other kid. I went online and I did my research. I figured out, how Jordans actually were numbered. I also figured out what models I really liked in Nike and also Adidas. So that's how I really got started. I really got started because of my cousins, and then from there it was just basically me doing my own research, and I guess I eventually surpassed their knowledge.
Sneakers.
My favorite pair of sneakers right now would have to be Dornbecker 3s. That's my favorite sneaker right now because I got it as a gift from my girlfriend. It's also my favorite shoe because it has like a really nice concept around it. It has some really nice features to the shoe. Like it actually has a little kid's name on it, named Cole, all over the shoe. It also has like his favorite food on the back tabs of the shoe, which is chocolate and pasta. Alright, well, I also have a pair of sneakers that are called Air Max 1s, which that sneaker itself is the first Air Max. And what Air Max is a technology that Nike has used from the beginning, pretty much, that is basically putting an air unit inside of the midsole of a shoe, giving, a lot more, relief from your ankles and from your knees, so it's actually a lot more comfortable. The person who came up with that technology, I'm not sure who came up with that technology for sure, but a person who came out with the Air Max unit actually being visible in the shoe, like in the Air Max 1, that was the first shoe that ever had it was Tinker Hatfield. Tinker Hatfield was also the designer to the first few Jordans, like the Jordan 1, 2, no, actually the Jordan 2, 3, and I think 4, 5, and he's still involved in a lot of Nikes now. So yeah, I got his autograph on a pair of Air Max 1s, which really meant a lot to me. I met him at Soulfly. And it really meant a lot that I actually got this pair of Air Max 1s from my boss. Everyone else was getting Jordan signed, OG Jordans, or OG meaning original, or retro Jordans, which came out recently. But I figured it had to be something different for me, something that really affected the Nike brand and Jordan brand in general. So I picked that shoe, Air Max 1, that came out re-retroed in 2009, and I got him to sign that pair for me, the original white and red colorway. I'm working at Soulfly. I'm a sales associate, so basically what I do is I sell sneakers and I work in the back room. I've also helped Soulfly because I've shared my ideas with them by coming up with shirt ideas and event ideas that might help them get more customers. I used to help them with ship outs, and well, now it's back to how it used to be. I'm just doing sales, and I give them ideas every now and then. Sneaker culture just means another way to stand out, another way to actually make yourself different from the rest of the crowd. I feel like it's just not about the color of the sneaker. It's just not about the how limited a sneaker is. It's about actually liking a sneaker and actually going forward and trying to get that sneaker in your possession. I've been to a lot of sneaker conventions. I've been to Dunk Exchange. I've also been to Sneaker Con. Um, and I think those are the only two events that I've really been to. But I've also been to, like, events that are from stores, like Soulfly, of course. I've been in the grand opening, which I worked at. Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Bernard Hopkins, Charles Oakley. Those people were actually in attendance there, and I actually met those people. Um, SneakerCon is a really cool event because it's actually, you can buy sneakers for, pretty good prices after retail, which, retail is actually when the shoe releases from the stores. But eventually a sneaker sells out when it's at retail value, and then it has to go for resale value. So same thing with Dunk Exchange. It's pretty much the same. It's a real urban environment. You hear a lot of hip hop, so I guess hip hop and sneakers really go hand in hand, because it's really a lot of rap artists are actually into sneakers. Like Nelly, for example, he's a person that really loves Jordans. He came out with a pair of he came out with a song called that song's actually very interesting. It's because that song really made sneakers go into another level. It made a lot more people more interested, just because of the fact that Nelly, a superstar, was into these sneakers. So just because of that, I'm pretty sure he got a few thousand people to get into sneakers just because of that. Hype. Hype is a word that is basically, well, what it describes. Hype. So many people get excited for the same shoe. So many people get excited for a certain colorway of a certain shoe. For example, the Miami Vice LeBrons. It's a $250 shoe. It's a colorway that people really really love. It's a colorway that people really admire. It's Miami Vice is basically, the colors are light blue or like a tealish. Those two colors together automatically make a South Beach colorway. So, that shoe itself was, once everyone found out that colorway was going to release in the LeBron 9s, everyone started freaking out. There was so much hype around that shoe. Every person that came in the store, every phone call that we got into Soulfly was about that shoe. Like every phone call you answered, you figured you had to tell the people the release date of the shoe, how much the shoe was going to be, how we're going to be releasing the shoe, and it was just ridiculous. So at the end of the day, that shoe was going for $250, sold out the same day, and resold for $600, $700. That just goes to show you that there's so much hype in this culture. A shoe release is basically, it depends on where you're going. Sometimes it might not be first come, first serve, which is basically whoever's there first gets their pair, and you could wait overnight if you want. You can sleep there, sleep out, camp out for as long as you want, depending on the store. Some stores don't even let you camp out anymore, like House of Hoops and Dayland Mall. Soulfly, I don't think they really have any more campouts. But another way a shoe release could go is a raffle release, which is basically everyone goes and pick up their raffle tickets before the release date, and you just wait for your name and number to be called, and if your name and number is called, then you get your pair. You have to go up and you pay for your pair. That's pretty much it. Oh, wristbands as well. Wristbands is what the Nike store used to do, which is basically the same thing as raffle tickets, but you actually get your guaranteed pair. So if you show up, you get a wristband, probably like the Tuesday or Wednesday before the release, that's on Saturday, then you'll be able to get your guaranteed pair as long as you show up before 12 o'clock. If you don't show up before 12 o'clock, then your pair is open for sale, and people are actually able to buy it right on the spot. And people actually wait there from 7 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock in the afternoon just to get those pairs, if there are any. Sneakers aren't just clothing, sneakers are a lot more than that. Sneakers are profit, sneakers are business, sneakers are art, sneakers are expression. It's a lot more than just an article of clothing, because they stand out. When I walk into a room, people compliment me on just my sneakers, like, hey, nice shoes, and it doesn't make you just feel like it's just an article of clothing. It makes you feel like it's something that actually sticks out. People could actually see it, and people actually realize what you're wearing. So I feel like it's a lot more than just an article of clothing. I feel like it's a lot more than just clothes.